Hi, Cami here, trauma coach and yoga therapist. Today I'm talking a little bit more about this book, My Grandmother's Hands, and specifically talking about some of the physical sensations and the physical places that we might be storing trauma, and what this might mean for us, why there's even value here. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Healing from trauma does not have to involve the trauma, especially when you're working with someone like me, like with the trauma coach, with the yoga therapist. You don't have to go back in and like sort through what happened and all that stuff. With other practitioners, that is likely very, very helpful. But with someone like me, we don't do that. We do other things together, including this that I'm about to talk about, which is noticing where in your body do sensations of stored trauma come up. And you can access this by thinking of a memory. It doesn't have to be a high load memory. I'm using my terminology that I use with my clients. So high load is like really intense. It doesn't have to be your highest load. Just anything where maybe you felt something that you would consider shame, like that's a word that we use for it. And notice where in your body, if you can remember, and give yourself a few minutes to kind of think through this. Oh yeah. So for me, I thought of a memory, again, not a terrible one, but just like, oh yeah, I was a little embarrassed, felt a little ashamed. And for me, I noticed that the sensations were kind of right in here. And they had sort of like a hot, rising quality to them. Very interesting. I didn't know that. And I got that by going through one of his exercises. If you're going to read this book, I really recommend that you do all the exercises as he talks you through them. So I was doing one of his exercises and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is where I first recognized that, yes, this is something I would put that word shame on, or embarrassment, or like that kind of quality. It was up here. There are other times in other exercises in this book, or other times in my life, where I've noticed other sensations. Like there have been qualities in my side body, and I've been able to work those out over the years. And sometimes I've definitely heard clients describe sensations kind of in their low abdomen, sort of like a churning. And that wasn't shame, that was more like dread. So you might think of a time, oh yeah, that I was really dreading something. And that might have a quality of like, it's low in your body, it's descending, it has a heaviness to it, and sort of maybe a little bit of a circular movement to it. If you don't perceive these, or you don't remember these sensations, don't worry about that. It's a skill like anything else in yoga therapy and in trauma coaching. Less so the trauma coaching. We do more like talking in trauma coaching, but certainly in yoga therapy, but some in trauma coaching. We will like go through some somatic reeducation and all of that. And we're building this thing called interoception. Interoception is our ability to be on the inside and perceive what's going on the inside of our body. But if you don't have immediate access to that, don't worry. It's a skill that you can grow. Anyway, what is the value of knowing, oh yeah, this thing that I sort of categorized as shame, at least for me, I felt it here, and it was kind of up high, and it was rising, and it had kind of a hot quality, and it came to the surface of my skin, sort of. And then other sensations, other experiences that I would put different words to, they were somewhere else in my body. Maybe there can be a time where I just had this huge urge to flee. And I mostly felt this thing like in my feet and my legs. Well, what's the point of knowing all that? Here's the thing. First, we have to feel safe enough to be able to do this work. And we have to do it skillfully so that we're not just like re-traumatizing ourselves or ruminating, because that's not helpful. Like going over and over and over and over again. No, that is not what we're doing. It's not what I'm talking about. So we need to be skillful as we do it. And it's usually a good idea to work with someone if you're going to do this, especially if you have like complex trauma or something like that. All of that said, to the degree that we are unconscious about these sensations, our past experience of them, our current experience of them, when we're unconscious of them, when we're not aware of them, when we don't recognize them, two things at least, probably many more, but at least two things are going on. One, entire blocks of our physical experience are blocked off to us. I use that word block twice, that's interesting. So entire regions of our lived experience we don't have access to. We're just blocked off to it. And we don't have to live that way. It actually takes energy for those things to be blocked off. And when we can work through them, we can free up energy and all of that. There's a lot I can get into here, but I'll do that another time. I try to keep my videos short. And then the other thing that is going on, or can be going on, is that those old sensations can kind of have power over us even in the present, and can interfere with like making really conscious decisions, conscious efforts toward a goal, or conscious habit formation that is in service of our overall well-being vision. It can have power, these old sensations, these stored trauma in our tissues and in our mind can have us do things that we don't want to do, that we don't recognize, that we weren't really conscious about it. It's kind of a reflex. It's kind of an old way of acting or thinking. And it can be kind of mysterious and dumbfounding. I'm like, how do I need to change course? How do I go towards the things I know that are best for me and my family, my work situation, and so on? So we become more intimate with our lived experience safely, slowly, over time, under the right conditions. It does not have to be a high-load situation. But we form more of a relationship with all of our body's experience. This frees up energy, gives us clarity, usually gives us a lot of self-compassion, opens up these different doors, gives us more of a language around experiences and sensations, gives us kind of more of a body intelligence of our own. Soma is what we call it in SomaYoga therapy. Our Soma is our first person experience of being inside our body. And so we get like a more well-rounded relationship, just like if you were getting to know someone else, you get to know more of them. It's like that, only with you. And among many other things, this can give us more clarity, more focus, more self-compassion, more choices, ultimately, more freedom in our bodies, more peace in our body-mind singularity that we are. So thank you so much for listening, and If you got value, please like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, and get the book. Bye.